Hi, welcome to Philosophy B9, Critical Thinking and Advanced Composition. My name is Brian Russell and I'll be your professor for the course. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the course mechanics. I'm going to walk you through our syllabus, talk about how and when we'll be meeting, and get you started with your first assignments for the week. So first, let's talk about how to get to our course Canvas site. So go to bakersfieldcollege.edu, go to Inside BC, log in with your email address and password. You have a list of your own courses. You'll click on that menu and it will take you to the courses that you have. Click on Critical Thinking and Critical Thinking and Advanced Composition, and that will take you to this page. This is our home page. So on this homepage, you'll see a bunch of important information. You'll see my name, so you'll see the CRN of the course, the title, my name, how to contact me, so contact me via email. I try to respond within 2 days. If I haven't responded to you within 2 days, then send me another email and just explain to me that I haven't gotten back to you yet, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Emails fall through the cracks throughout the semester. I get a bunch of them, so I'll take no offense if you send me a second email saying, hey, could you get back to me on this? You'll see a link to our syllabus, and if you click that, it will preview the syllabus. You'll see a link to our Wednesday Zoom meetings. So we will be meeting only on Wednesdays this semester. If you click this link, that will take you to the Zoom call. So as far as technology for this course, you're going to need a working webcam and microphone, whether that be on your computer or on your phone. You need some way you need to be attending these Zoom meetings on Wednesdays. Now, we won't be meeting on Mondays, just Wednesdays, and this will be the link to those meetings, and we'll be meeting during our scheduled meeting times from 2:35 to 4 p.m. every Wednesday throughout the course of the semester, with the exception of spring break. I also have a link to my virtual office hours, which right now are Wednesdays from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you click that link, it'll take you to the Zoom call. And you will be in a waiting room, and I'll have to let you into those office hours. If I'm meeting with someone else, it might take a little while to get you in. So stick around, and hopefully I'll have a chance to talk to you. If you want to meet with me outside of these office hours, just send me an email and we'll work out a time and we can make an appointment, and we'll meet at this Zoom call outside of these hours. So the other thing you'll see on this homepage are the links to modules. So first, start here. There's a welcome module where you'll find this video, and the syllabus quiz, which you need to do before our Wednesday meeting this week. And you'll find an orientation module, which is optional. If you've taken an online class before at Bakersfield College, you don't need to do this online orientation, but it might help you. It talks about things like how to turn assignments in, netiquette, all sorts of things which are useful for taking an online class. It even has a little quiz, which is worth 0 points, but helps you to make sure you're absorbing some of the information. And so again, orientation optional. You must do the welcome module stuff. You must do the week 1 and all the rest of these weeks when those weeks come up. So you must do the welcome module and the week 1 module this week. You also have links down here at the bottom of the page to, if you need extra accommodations, you can click these links or make these calls and get in touch with the people you need to. Do that sooner rather than later so I can make sure that I'm giving you what you need to succeed in the course. So let's go ahead and click on the welcome module and see what you have to do this week. So there's a link to the homepage, a link to the syllabus, a link to this video, and a syllabus quiz. You have to do this by January 20th. So our January 20th meeting, you have to have read the syllabus, watch this video that you're watching, and you have to do the quiz afterwards. It's just 4 questions for 1 point each. And there's a Zoom meeting link. This online orientation is a lot of stuff, but each page is about a paragraph of information, so don't be too freaked out. If you want to go through this, this is here for your benefit, but you need not do it if you don't want to, because there's plenty of stuff to do for week 1. In week 1, you'll have to watch this short intro to logic. I think it's about 4 minutes. You'll have to read 1.1 in our textbook. You'll have to watch the 1.1 video lecture, do the 1.1 video quiz. There's parts of argument homework, which I'll cover later, a trolley problems lecture, trolley problems post-lecture quiz, some micropaper instructional videos, and a micropaper quiz, and the micropaper itself. So right in the first week, you're going to have to do 1, 2, 3 quizzes, a homework assignment, and right away you're going to have to write a paper. We have to write a lot of words this semester, so we get you started right away. Alright, so these are the things you're going to have to do week 1. I'll go over these in a little bit more depth in our meeting on Wednesday. But the things you have to do before our meeting on Wednesday are watch this video, check out the syllabus, take the syllabus quiz. And then you'll be prepared for our Wednesday meeting. So let's go to the syllabus then. So if you were doing it, you'd click on this link. I already have it pulled up. Alright, so let's talk about what we'll be doing in our class meeting. So this class is listed as online scheduled, which means I'll be hosting Zoom meetings during our assigned meeting time on Wednesday. You're required to attend our Zoom meetings on Wednesday. In each of our meetings on Wednesday, I'll be assigning group work, and that group work will have points attached, and there's no makeup for that group work. So it's essentially a record of your attendance. So I'm giving you one freebie where if you have to miss 1 class throughout the semester, that's fine. But after that, you'll start losing points for not attending our meetings. All right, so in our Wednesday meetings, what I plan to do is briefly outline the ideas we're talking about, or the articles that we're talking about, the arguments in them, briefly covering any assignments that you have to do for the week. I'll also be doing that in an email every Monday morning. So Monday mornings I'll be sending out an email with all the assignments that you have to do that week, so you'll never be in doubt as to what you have to do. I'll send out that checklist again every Monday morning, and then Wednesday we'll meet from 2:35 to 4 p.m. I have a link to the Zoom meetings here on the syllabus. So what are we going to be doing in this course? What we're going to be teaching you how to do is construct good arguments yourself, analyze the arguments of others, and doing that in writing. So constructing your own good arguments in writing, and analyzing the arguments of others in their writing, and doing that analyzing in your own writing. You'll have to write a bunch of little one-page papers, 10 one-page papers, and then you'll have to write some extended essays as well. And that covers basically the learning outcomes. There's one textbook that's required. It's Hurley, Concise Introduction to Logic. Let's do 7th or newer edition. The reason I say 7th, and the reason you may have seen if you went to the bookstore that this was listed as optional, is because if you type Hurley Introduction to Logic PDF, the very first link will be the entire 7th edition of our textbook. And this is totally sufficient for our purposes. You'll be able to read the text right here. So when I say read 1.1, that means chapter 1, section 1, it's listed as 1.1, basic concepts. When I say read 1.4, for example, well, you'll see it lists them in chapter and then section. So you can get the book for free via PDF. You don't have to spend any money. If you want to get it, you can order it from the bookstore, but I tell the bookstore that a free PDF is available online, so not many people order it. All right, so now you know where the text is, you know what we'll generally be doing in class, and you know how we'll be handling class meetings. There'll be 2 tests, a midterm and a final test. The midterm will essentially be a logic test. For the first 7 weeks of the course, we'll be talking about the basics of argumentation and covering some arguments by analogy, covering some fallacies, things like that. So there'll be a logic test in around week 7. And then after that, we'll be delving into our content for the course. Our content for the course, what we'll be talking about throughout, is the moral status of non-human animals. So it's an interesting area of inquiry. It's one that I've thought about for a long time. It's one where there's a lot of good argumentation on many different aspects of the issues involved. It's an interesting issue because we have these common sense attitudes about common sense views of the moral status of non-human animals, which don't seem to fit together very nicely. We think it's okay to imprison and eat and slaughter and eat some animals. We think it's not okay to do that with other animals. The differences in terms of mental capacities between the animals we think it's okay to and those we think it's not okay to. There doesn't seem to be any principled reason why we have those 2 different categories as we do. We think it's okay to test on some animals but not on other animals, and there doesn't seem to be any principled reason behind it. So our common sense on this issue seems a little bit muddled, to say the least. And there is a bunch of interesting philosophical writing on various positions that, like animal rights theories, animal welfare theories. We'll read people who say that animals have no rights. We'll read people who say that even if we think animals deserve some moral consideration, that entails us adopting a vegan diet. There's all sorts of interesting positions here, and I try to cover the field. I pick a topic because we'll want to go in depth on a topic, and I chose this one, so that you can write an extended essay and be very well informed on the topic, and so you can synthesize some different positions in your final paper. So our final exam will be on that content to make sure you know the theories before you turn in your final paper. There'll be 3 extended papers. Your first paper will be a straight research paper. I'll talk about that, if not this Wednesday, then the following Wednesday. The second paper will be an argument, an ethical argument. And the third paper, if you want, can combine the first 2 papers into sort of like a summative longer paper. First paper is about 3 pages, the second one about 4, and the final about 6. There'll be a homework packet that you'll have to turn in when you take the midterm exam. There'll be 10 micropapers, each worth 20 points each. Those are 1-page papers. We get started right in the first week with the first micropaper. And there'll be some quizzes throughout just to make sure you're getting the content. And our in-class work, it'll be 3 to 4 points every class session. All right, so with the quizzes, you'll see in the modules, and you'll see in the module for week 1, that I'll be doing brief mini lectures, much like this one, but on the content that we'll be covering for the course. And sometimes you'll be required to do a post-lecture quiz. You can find the questions for the post-lecture quizzes in the video lectures. So at the end of the video lecture, I'll give you the questions and possible answers. You'll need to take notes on those. Just like you'll be taking notes throughout the lecture, at the end of your notes, take notes on the questions and possible answers for the post-lecture quiz, because when you open the quiz in Canvas, it'll just say, what's the answer to question 1, A, B, or C? What's the answer for question 2, true or false, for example? And you won't get the questions and answers to the quizzes in the quizzes. You'll have to get them from the lectures. So take notes. All right. There will be other required reading not in our textbook. That will be in the form of articles, which I post PDFs of those in the course Canvas site. With the homework packet, all the homework, it will say 0 points when you're looking at it in the module, but all of the homework assignments collectively will add up to 30 points. I'll review all the homework that you've done over the course of the first half of the semester when we take that logic test, but each homework assignment that will be part of that packet is due the week that it's assigned. So no, even though it says 0 points, it's not actually 0 points. Canvas just isn't sophisticated enough to allow me to do 30 points for the whole thing. I have to assign points to the questions. Anyways, don't worry about it. Just do the homework on time. All right, academic integrity we have to get into a little bit more in this course because there's a ton of writing you have to do for this class. And I've encountered plagiarism just about every semester because we have to do so much writing in this class. So I'm going to try to nip that in the bud here. Well, the first thing I want to do is cover some different types of plagiarism, and this will be relevant for the syllabus quiz, so take some notes here. So there are a few different types of plagiarism that I want to cover. The first and well-known is direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is the word-for-word transcription of a section of someone else's work without attribution and without quotation marks. This is bad. It's especially bad when I think you're doing it intentionally. And if you found some website, like you think deep on the internet and you think I won't find it, I can assure you I most often do. Don't do this. If you're going to directly put somebody else's words in your paper, put quotation marks around it and cite your source. That's fine. We can build on the shoulders of giants here. You can use the words of somebody else, just make sure to quote them and cite your source. That's the most common type of plagiarism, but there are others. Self-plagiarism occurs when a student submits his or her own previous work or mixes parts of previous work without the permission from all professors involved. So you may have taken another philosophy class or another English class where some of this content was covered, and you may think, well, I already did something similar to this, I can just take that work over to this class. That's plagiarism. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to look at what classes you've taken, I'm going to try to contact those professors and see if you've turned in anything like that in their classes, and if you have, that's a problem. It will either result in a 0 for the assignment, and I may turn that in to administration, and you'll have some uncomfortable conversations with administration about it, and we'll work out a plan. It'll involve a whole bunch of work on your end and a whole bunch of work on my end with any of these types of plagiarism. But let me cover one final different type of plagiarism, and that's mosaic plagiarism. This occurs when a student borrows phrases from a source without using quotation marks or, and this is important, finds synonyms for the author's language while keeping to the same general structure and meaning of the original. This is plagiarism. It's a kind of plagiarism that's getting much more prominent. I've caught a bunch of people using these thesaurus sites where you take an article and copy it into a thesaurus site and it changes more or less of the words. You can enter the percentage and then it gets past the plagiarism checkers like Turnitin or Chegg or online plagiarism checkers. But it doesn't get past me. when you do that sort of thing, the way it comes out is almost incomprehensible and it's really hard to read, but I go into it and I start checking everywhere. I start substituting different words for the words that people use, and I eventually find the sources. And then I take the paper, the offending paper, and the sources, and I highlight everything that's the same, and then I turn it into administration. And again, that results in uncomfortable conversation. So please don't engage in any of these sorts of plagiarism. If you take an idea, even if you're just going to paraphrase, make sure you throw a citation in there. And don't try to get one over on me. We're trying to learn how to critically think and learn how to put that critical thinking into writing. And you're doing yourself a disservice and me a disservice, because you're causing both of us a ton of work and you're probably going to fail the class and have uncomfortable conversations with administration. So don't engage in these types of plagiarism. Take some notes on these different types because it will be on the syllabus quiz. All right, carrying on the syllabus, I have a DSPS statement and some ways you can get extra accommodations. All the work for this course will either be due before our Wednesday meetings or on Sundays at 11:59 p.m. I'll let you know again when I send those emails on Monday mornings what work you have to do for the week and whether it will be due before our meetings on Wednesdays or Sundays at 11:59 p.m. I have a whole bunch of resources here that are helpful. One resource that's especially helpful for this class is the Writing Center. So if you click on this link, it will take you to the Bakersfield College Writing Center. You can make virtual appointments to talk to people about your papers. I'm going to require that you do it at some point. You should do it maybe earlier than the time I require it. Just to let you know how useful it is for this class, I had a student before who failed this class, I want to say miserably, like wasn't even close to passing the class. And she came back the next semester and I was very worried about her prospects. But what she did was for every paper in this class, she set up a meeting with the Writing Center. And her papers were much, much improved, and she ended up with a B in the class her second semester. And I credit that both to her hard work, to some extra instruction from me, but primarily to her meetings with the Writing Center. They've worked with my students before. They know what I'm expecting from your writing, so they'll be happy to help you. You see dates and times, and you can message them, and you can get some help. The people from the Writing Center are paid to help you improve your writing. And this is the sort of thing you're really lucky to have at Bakersfield College. You probably won't find a resource like this when you go away to a four-year college if you decide to. You'll be on your own for this sort of stuff. But these people are paid to look at your paper and help you improve your writing. So please take advantage of that resource. All right, at the bottom of the bottom of the syllabus, you'll see a course calendar. It will include every assignment that you have to, it will include all the big writing assignments that you have to do, and all the modules that you'll have to complete, and the dates for completion and stuff like that. The time for exams, you'll have to do the exam the week of March 1st to March 7th. You'll just have to make sure you turn it in by March 7th at 11:59 p.m. You'll be doing it at home just like any other quiz, except you'll have an hour and a half, I think, once you open it to do it. So anytime between March 1st through March 7th. And you'll see we actually have our final exam due May 9th, and then, because that's to make sure you know the content, and then the final paper is due May 16th at 11:59 p.m. That's actually your final assignment. You'll note that in bold here, you have a writing assignment due every single week of this class. We are required by the state to do a certain number of words throughout the course of the semester, and we spread that out to make it a little easier for you. But there is a ton of writing for this class, and there are some growing pains that students go through at the beginning. Don't get discouraged if you're having a difficult time with the assignments in the beginning. Just make sure you're paying attention to the stuff I'm saying that I require for especially the micro papers at the beginning, and I'll be doing quizzes along the way to make sure you know exactly what you're getting into with the writing. Let me also say that this course takes a significant amount of time. As far as the courses that I teach, this course is about 2.5 times the work that my other classes are. It's because of that words written requirement. So just know that you'll be spending significant time writing this semester. If you don't have time for that, and there are other classes that might fulfill the requirements that you're trying to fulfill, then you might look into them. Philosophy B7 is an introduction to logic class. If you're just planning to go to a CSU after Bakersfield College, then you can take that Intro to Logic class and meet the area requirement instead of taking this B9 class. And again, it might be like a third of the work and so much less writing, maybe no writing, depending on who you take. If, however, you're planning to go to a UC, you will have to take this course. So stick around and make time for it. All right, so I look forward to meeting you all on Wednesday. Make sure you come to that Wednesday meeting. If you don't, I'll have to drop you from the class. The waiting list is always full for this class. There are people who are desperate to get into the class, so make sure you show up on Wednesday so you can maintain your place in the class. And sorry if I came off like a hard ass this whole time. I promise we'll have fun. You'll learn a lot, and you'll be a much better thinker and writer at the completion of this course. So I look forward to seeing you Wednesday. Thanks for sticking around and watching this whole video. See you then.